Hello, and welcome to the Battleship Brawl Companion. I'm Evil for Zergan, and this episode I'll be reviewing the Fratino-class armored cruiser Honório Barreto. Apparently, Fratino means sister in Esperanto. I don't really know Esperanto, and I don't know if there's any other references it could be of, so I guess we'll leave it at that. As for Honório Barreto, the historical figure was a governor of the Portuguese colony of Guinea back in the 19th century. There was actually a real ship named after him in the Portuguese Navy, although that ship was only a corvette as opposed to a cruiser we have here. Let's get to the ship itself. Another very nice looking ship. We've got a classic blue and gold paint scheme here. And plenty of decorations on the hull. Got the anchor chains in the front. Some decorative piping here, radar. And I think even a full detection array. Yeah, it's even connected to the mainframe. The ship is a bit below the materials cost. The tournament limit is 200k. This one's about 10k below the limit. As usual, let's go to the propulsion. I'll fire the engines up. So I see we're making a pretty middle of the pack speed of about 16 meters per second, maybe a bit more. The ship does have quite low freeboard. While freeboard is not super important by itself, you do want to be keeping the deck of your ship above the water, because that's going to cut down on your length drag. Let me see if I can... Well, let's see. Although the speed does seem to be pretty stable, even with all this water washing over the deck. Let me see if the rear drag is fluctuating much. Yeah, it's fluctuating a bit. But you could probably squeeze just a little more speed out if your deck is not flooded. Probably the main problems will come if the ship gets hit and starts sinking lower. Let's go to turn rate. Making a turn, looks like just about 5 degrees per second. Again, quite middle of the pack. Next up is Armoured. This is a pretty heavily armored ship. As you may have guessed from its small size, it is very... I mean, there's definitely 3 ship entries where each ship is about this size. But it's very densely packed inside. I mean, it is much air pump based, although there is also a large amount of alloy and wood, which will give it a little inherent buoyancy apart from the air pumps. Speaking of which, the sponsons here are AC bead for some crude roll stability. So if the roll gets too much, it will activate or deactivate the air pumps to try to bring it back to level. The turret areas are surrounded by heavy armor, and these aren't just triangle blocks, these are full blocks of heavy armor. Probably a lot of the ship's costs went into these. Personally, I think full blocks of heavy armor are extremely expensive even for what they do. So, I mean, while these aren't going to be penetrated very easily, it just costs so much. Another downside is that they are also very heavy, which eventually led to the Honório Barreto's downfall in the tournament. After taking just a few hits, the ship starts sinking below the water and often despawn after reaching 80%. So, I mean, you really gotta be careful when using heavy armor. There is also heavy armor present on the turrets themselves, which will help keep them from getting fully decapitated, although a hit to the top of the turret will tend to disable it regardless. And, of course, it also suffers from the usual from the depths explosion rules. I mean, even if it doesn't decapitate turret, it will at least disconnect the neck from the rest of the cram. So, let's see. And also, it only has a single AI. I think it is also encased in heavy armor. It's right below the superstructure, which can be a bit hazardous since the superstructure tends to attract somewhat more fire. It is under heavy armor, though, at least, so it won't be easy to get at it. But some redundancy is always a good thing, especially for single ship entries like this. So overall, very heavy armor, but unfortunately let down by some fatal flaws. But let's talk about the Armoured. These are extremely well constructed cannons. I mean, it's got a quite good mix of pellet types. Ammunition is quite a bit above average, but I mean, having a lot of ammunition on the guns isn't a bad thing. If I were to have a glut of one type of item, ammo boxes would be it. Not only do they increase the rate of fire, but I mean, with the battle only lasting 10 minutes, I mean, that ammunition, one more box on your crams means probably one less, or, let's see. Okay, so in 10 minutes, that's 600 seconds. In 600 seconds, an ammo box can regenerate 600 ammo. That is a main ship-based ammo box can regenerate 600 ammo, plus the 100 ammo it starts with. An ammo box on a cram starts with 200 ammo. So you can see that like 3 or 4 cram ammo boxes is pretty much effectively as good as one ship ammo box. Plus, it'll increase the rate of fire. We see that the reload time is just above 15 seconds, which is pretty great considering how huge these crams are. Yeah, and the internals, I mean, we've got the by now familiar sort of X shape of explosive pellets with 4 autoloaders touching each, which is, I mean, kind of the standard. As Zycol showed us, it's possible to do better, but I mean, this is pretty good. Yeah, so great guns. Only trouble is that there's only 6 of them. In this tournament, I would have recommended packing at least twice that much firepower. I mean, so several entries have been eliminated by now, and I think lack of firepower has been the most common sin so far. I mean, you know, even if you've got no speed, maybe the enemy will get lucky and the enemy will aim for something that isn't critical. If you've got no armor, well, I mean, they still have to at least hit you a few times to destroy you. So, I mean, you'll at least get a few shots off. But I mean, if you don't have much in the way of guns, I mean, there's not really much you can do in this tournament. So. By no means the most underarmed ship, or even close to it, but, I mean, if you're designing a ship, I would recommend significantly more firepower than this, at least 50% more, I'd say. Still a great-looking ship. If it weren't for the buoyancy issues, I think this could have done pretty well in the tournament. Um, well, maybe better luck next time. That's all I've got to say. See y'all next time.